Hello everyone! Alondra Sandoval here from Shift Marketing. Welcome to Magical Martes. The goal of Magical Martes is to highlight conferences and tracks at a high level and give members the 411 in a forum where they can ask questions. For those who don't know, there are 5 conferences at the SHPE National Convention, and they are SHPETinas, SHPETech, Academic, Pre-College, and Professionals in STEM. This week, we're going to be highlighting professionals in STEM, and Bernardo Reyes, one of the committee members, is going to be joining us to talk more about it. While I add Bernardo to the live, share on the chat where you're joining us from. I'm joining from Region 2 in San Diego, California. And let me see if Braulio has joined the live. Hi, Braulio. Thank you so much for joining.
Hey. Okay, cool. I think I'm good to go. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you so much for joining, Braulio.
No, thank you for having me so much and for giving us this opportunity to kind of talk a little bit about the Professionals in STEM conference.
Thank you so much. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself so everyone can get to know you.
Yeah, no, sure. So my name is Bernardo Reyes. Been a SHPE member since 2016, yeah, I think so. Time's a funny thing. It just flies by. And I'm one of the co-chairs for the Professionals in STEM conference, along with Natalie Davila. For me, outside of doing this, I work at Amazon as a project manager, and been really excited to kind of just share a little more content about our conference and give a little more information for everyone to know what to look forward to, really, at the end of the day.
Thank you so much for that amazing introduction, Braulio. So we can start with Magical Martes. If you want to share with everyone, like, what's the vision for professionals in STEM, like the goals and objectives for the conference?
Yeah, no, sure. I think the best way to look at it is, I think when you're going to the SHPE convention as a student, you kind of have the idea of, okay, well, there's a clear goal that I think a lot of people fall under, which is, hey, you're looking for an internship, you're looking for a job, and that's a very clear path forward. And I think in the past, maybe there's kind of been that cookie cutter experience for professionals. But the big thing that we wanted to make sure that we pushed for this track is this conference is making sure that we're offering a unique path for as many people as possible. So it's not that, the path that a young professional is at, mid-career, and then more senior person aren't necessarily the same things. It's not necessarily that they want the same things, and different resources are going to add different kind of values to them. So we really tried from a programming standpoint, adding as many different things for adding a little bit of value for everyone in their different parts of their career.
Wow, I love that. And the next question that I have is, how can this conference benefit professionals?
Yeah, no, I think part of it's kind of a little bit what I mentioned. It's gives you an opportunity to kind of get a little more tailored experience regardless of where you're at in your particular career path. For example, we have something where we're focused very much on rising the technical corporate ladder, right? So I think we have a lot of people who maybe focus on workshops where you're talking about just the soft skills behind it, on more of the traditional leadership route and those kinds of things. But we also know there's, obviously we're an organization focused on engineers, and there's a lot of people who want to be engineers and want to grow and develop their technical skills. So offering those particular resources for people like that is an example of something that we are offering.
Wow, I love that. What of a student or community college student? How can they benefit if they if they end up attending like one of the workshops from professionals in STEM?
Yeah, no, I think one, at the end of the day, we want to make sure everything's approachable in all of our workshops and our learning sessions and our panels. So I think it's really important to understand that, hey, just because you're, like you mentioned, you're a student, you can still attend these sessions as well, because there's a lot of great content. And it's also a good kind of indicator of like, hey, I'm trying to figure out this next internship, this first entry-level job, whatever the case may be, right? But we might also, you can also start looking, 5-10 years down the road. I'm like, oh, hey, like, let me just be introduced to a new topic, a new way of looking at career plan, and have a better understanding of that as a whole.
Wow, I love that. The next question that I have is, what is the most exciting part about the program?
I think one of the things that we have that's kind of unique, I think, in general, is we have a session called Roleplay Networking with Zach Comedy Lab, sorry. So it's kind of one of those things where I think we always talk about like, oh, like, what is networking? How do we network? And there's like, personally for me, I've been to sessions where people talk about like, oh, hey, here are the 5 things you talk about when you start to networking with somebody. And I think those are good guidelines for sure, but it's one thing to just talk about networking and actually try doing something, see real world examples. So we wanted to make it as close to a view for people who are in the session, understanding, okay, like, how do I actually do this? Like, okay, how do I, it's like, I can be a totally awkward person sometimes. How do I not be awkward in real situations, but especially in these kind of more formal settings where you feel like you have to act a certain way or things like that? How do you actually go about doing it in a casual way that's going to make sense, that's going to feel organic to you and your personality type? So that's a pretty cool session that we're offering this year.
Oh, wow. When is that happening?
So that is happening Thursday at from 2:30 to 4:30.
Wow, I love that. I really hope that our members take advantage of that. It sounds like a really good workshop. Yeah, and what happened is, what are you most excited? What are you the most excited about?
I think this is just a really good opportunity for everybody to kind of come together, attend these sessions, network a little bit aside from the sessions themselves. Obviously, we don't have to go without saying that it's been a weird, 16, 18 months, however long it is. And I think this is a really great opportunity for everybody to kind of get together, especially as professionals and students, get together and, just really connect with each other.
Mm-hmm. And are there any conference speakers or any sponsors?
Yes, for our sessions, we do have Palo Alto Networks that is sponsoring 2 sessions. And additionally, we have Dr. Robert Rodriguez, who's hosting a how to leverage ERG experience panel workshop and an ERG panel itself. His background particularly is kind of focused on the ERG space itself, making sure that we can utilize that in the workforce to be able to benefit our careers.
Wow, I love that. And I think you already answered this question, but are there any networking events part of the program besides the one that's happening on Thursday?
Yes, there are networking events that are blanking my mind right now. Exactly when. There's a lot of stuff going on, guys. There's a lot of stuff going on. But yes, there's networking events. I saw that was Russ's question, so I'm sure she can answer when it is. But yes, there are networking events.
And are they happening different days of the convention, or they're all like on the same day?
I believe the main one for professionals is happening in the afternoon. I want to say Friday, but maybe it also can correct me if I'm wrong. I want to say Friday, but yeah, there is a main professionals networking event in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm. And I have seen like some students have joined, and I'm pretty sure you went to convention when you were a student. Is there any advice that you have for students so they can like really take advantage of convention and all the opportunities that are out there for them?
Yeah, no, I think the biggest thing for me when I went to convention was, I think there's the obvious stuff of making sure you're going to sessions, making sure that you're going to the career fair, all those kinds of things, right? But it's really getting to know the people, at the convention, because I can speaking as somebody who's now a professional for a little bit now, a lot of the people that I've met through SHPE are people that people who are still involved in my career that I talk to about when I have issues at work or need advice, or if you're looking at career moves down the road, those are good resources. So really your network is one of the biggest benefits that you can get from these events, like SHPE convention, and just trying to be as engaged as possible in the programming itself. There's a lot of people, we've been doing these events to kind of these live sessions to kind of promote what everyone's doing. So I think you can clearly see there's a lot of people working behind this on making sure we're successful and that everyone's getting as much value as they can out of it. So there's kind of a point to, all of this as a whole, and want to make sure that we're, everyone that's attending is taking advantage of all that.
Yeah, I completely agree. And now like we can open up for questions. So if anyone in the audience has any questions, feel free to drop it in the chat. And like, I don't know if there's like any other things that you want to share, Braulio.
Well, no, first want to thank you, Alondra, for kind of putting all these things together. These are kind of really cool little lives that kind of give just a little sneak peek, because, I think it's just like anything. There's kind of traditional media where you put stuff out there, but it's kind of cool to, kind of put a face to these people that are kind of behind the scenes. So I definitely appreciate you kind of showcasing everybody that's, out there.
Yeah, I want to give a shout out to Jen and Rosa because we came up with this idea, the shape marketing team, because we know that there's so many things happening at convention. So we thought that with Magical Martes, it would be like the best idea for us to really be able to show everything that's happening at convention.
Yeah, no, for sure. And also anyone that's on the live itself. There's also I always like answering questions for anything to do with convention or recruiting or any of that stuff too. So I do not speak for any particular company or organization, but I can give Braulio's advice, I'll say.
Thank you so much. And we have a question. How would you recommend students prepare for the career fair and possible interviews?
Yeah, no, that's fantastic question. So the main thing is going to be doing your research and understanding what you want to get out of the experience, right? So for example, like let's say, hey, I'm a sophomore, I want to get an internship this next year. What are the steps that I can take to prepare properly for that? So one's going to be looking at companies, and let's just say there's a particular company you're interested in. You see that they're going to be at the convention, and number one thing is go out there, look what jobs they have open. The number one thing that, when I did recruiting, that would be just challenging is a lot of times recruiters don't really talk to you too much unless they know you've already applied to the rec beforehand. That's not always the case, but it can only help you more than and it won't ever hurt you. So going out there saying, hey, for example, let's say you want to be a mechanical design intern, looking up what skills are there on the job rec, and then putting those things on your resume. And then when you talk to the individual at the actual career fair, be like, hey, my name's so-and-so, I go to this school, I'm here interested in this kind of role, I saw your company has this, I've applied for it, and then here are the kind of the transferable skills that I saw that you're looking for and how I have that experience. So just making it as easy for the recruiter to see how you can fit in that particular role. Because at the end of the day, anytime you're really talking to a recruiter, most people are people in the organization that want to be attending these kinds of events because I think that it's the right thing to do, and they want to help out their companies, and they want to help out our community. So the easier you make it for them to kind of picture how you can be a good fit in their organization, the better it's going to help you in the long term.
Mm-hmm. Thank you for that answer, Braulio. And the next question that we have is: Are there any certification sessions available for professionals?
Certification sessions by the professionals in STEM track are not something that's offered this year in particular. That was more just based on kind of like I mentioned a little bit about us wanting to be more of a tailored experience and offer a little bit for everybody else. That we kind of, one of our initial points was doing a survey for everybody at the beginning, early in the summer, and that was less of a need, I think, that was pushed than other things that we decided to go through with our programming.
Thank you, Braulio. Thank you for answering that question as well. Does anyone else have any questions? Please feel free to drop it in the chat before we wrap this live. And I can give everyone like around 30 seconds to drop any last minute questions. So I don't think we have any other questions. So before we wrap things up, I want to give some friendly reminders, and there's a couple of them. So the first reminder is we're currently looking for volunteers for the SHPE National Convention. As a volunteer, you'll be able to meet and network with company representatives and fellowship members. And volunteers will also receive a snack and $5 per shift, and you can use the money to use at the SHPE Mercado. And now for competition deadlines. Tomorrow, October 13, is the deadline for the Design Challenge. And Friday, October 15, is the deadline for the Innovation Challenge and the 3-minute thesis competition. And if you want to learn more about all the competitions that are happening at convention, you can go to our YouTube channel or in our IGTV, and you can see our Magical Martes for competitions. And now for career fair reminders. Don't forget to upload your resume by October 22nd, and also the virtual resume review rooms will be open by the end of the week, and there are limited slots, so please make sure to sign up if you're interested. And now for corporate tours, we're going to be having the Boeing corporate tour to the Kennedy Space Center, and that will be happening Thursday, November 11th from 8 to 12, and it's $15 to reserve your spot. And this is open for students And there's also city tours available the morning of Wednesday, November 10 and Sunday, November 14. They're $15 to reserve your spot and they're open to all. And we have a question, how do you sign up to be a volunteer? So you can find the link to sign up to be a volunteer on our weekly newsletters that get sent for the National Convention. And last but not least, we hope to see everyone at our next Magical Martes happening a week from today at the same time. And the topic is going to be for SHPETech. And sorry, and we have another question. How can we RSVP for the Boeing tour? So I believe if you already sign up, if you already registered for convention, if you go back, you will be able to register for the Boeing tour. So I guess that will be the end for the live. Thank you so much, brother, for joining, and thank you so much. And thank you so much to all of our familia that joined. See you next Tuesday, familia. Thank you.